We start tonight with a story all about putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And what if those shoes were those of someone experiencing homelessness? Chris Robertson felt like it was part of his job. As executive director of some other place, he works every day with the less fortunate. And to serve them best, he decided to spend an entire week living in the street. Robertson said in order to make change, he needed to do something drastic. He talked about his experience with 12 News reporter Ebony Coleman. And Ebony, I understand he says he went in there with nothing but the clothes on his back and a sleeping bag. But what he got out of it may benefit our community for years to come.
Cameron, that's right. It's certainly something that the average person, they wouldn't do. But Robertson used his experiences to improve the services at some other place and make lifelong memories in the process.
So there was a gap to where people were sneaking in here throughout the night. And so that made it a little bit uneasy.
Imagine walking the streets in search of your next meal or a safe place to lay your head. It's a reality for hundreds of people suffering from homelessness in Beaumont.
There's no one-size-fits shoe for a homeless person.
For Chris Robertson, experiencing homelessness was part of a personal mission. As executive director of some other place, he devotes himself to helping those less fortunate.
Within about a week of being here, I made a decision to live on site with the homeless people. I had to rethink my approach so that I could kind of come in and implement programs that I think would help based on what I had seen for that week.
Instead of his warm bed, he slept on a wooden pallet in the streets. And what he saw will stick with him forever.
I had seen people try to stab other people. I mean, it's a very scary environment.
He didn't try to blend in. He wore his regular clothes and lent his ear to the issues that people face.
There were some people who appreciated it right away because I was picking up trash. And there were some people who kind of thought, oh, there's this new guy trying to, have some look that he's trying to portray.
Next time you see someone asking for money or living in harsh conditions, don't write them off. And never forget that they are people too.
One of the guys I like the most, he was given a terminal diagnosis, and so he left home because he doesn't want his wife and his ninth grade daughter to see him deteriorate. So he sneaks home every day to watch her get off the bus and then comes back here. So you have no idea who these people are, but their stories are just unbelievable.
With this experience, Chris says he built a new level of trust and respect with the people that he works with every day. He says involvement in their programs has gone up and people in the area feel welcome to come. Ebony Coleman, 12 News.
A great story there, Ebony. Returning now to the storm trackers on what has been a wet and rainy Sunday in southeast Texas. It started this morning and lasted well into the afternoon. This video outside our studios here around 3 o'clock. Some areas in southeast Texas, in Orange to be specific, seeing 3 inches of rain today. The rain has moved out for now as we take a look outside live on our Roofing 911 Sky Cam network. The view there courtesy of LaBerge in Lake Charles. I'm in the Storm Tracker Center right now with meteorologist Kerry Cooper. And Kerry, the rain is gone for now, but it means we're going to have a pretty chilly start to the week.
It really does. We've been talking about an Arctic cold front working into Texas. Now, we're not going to get the brunt of that very cold air, but it's going to get pretty chilly. It was warm today. We got up to 72 today, but we're talking only 50s for highs tomorrow. May just stay in the upper 40s up in the lakes area, but it's still warm tonight. Temperatures running in the mid 60s, a little bit of fog down south along the coast. 61 in Jasper, 64 in Beaumont. We'll be dropping though later tonight. Finally, a quiet radar after some 2 to 4 inch rains today, especially from Orange County on over into Calcasieu Parish. Big rains. Could see a few scattered light showers tomorrow, so not the best to forecast coming up the next 2 or 3 days. Not expecting any heavy rain. It's just going to be chilly with on and off scattered showers. Futurecast showing 53 degrees right at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 40s in the lakes. And it's not going to warm up much tomorrow. So a chilly day in store, not only tomorrow with scattered showers, light showers, but also into Tuesday. So a pretty chilly forecast. We'll talk about that. We're in the 60s now. We'll be in the low 50s, upper 40s in the lakes by morning. But then more heavy rain possible by Thursday of this week. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I would love for him to be accountable, responsible, and apologetic to me and my family for the pain that is caused.
Hearing from the mother there of 6-year-old Carter Osborne speaking to 12 News last year on the 1-year anniversary of her son's death. The man she wants held responsible is Darrell Brown Jr. He admits he was driving an ATV that killed little Carter in May of 2021. The deadly incident happened at Terrell Park in Beaumont, and on Monday, a manslaughter trial gets underway with jury selection at the Jefferson County Courthouse. If convicted, Darrell Brown faces up to 20 years in prison. He's been at the Jefferson County Jail for 21 months, waiting for this trial to start. In an exclusive interview with 12 News, Brown shared his side of the story on Friday. He went on the record from a phone inside the jail. He apologized to the Osborne family and says he was not intoxicated or drunk when the incident happened.
I just hope people realize that this was an accident. I hope that they understand that this is not something that was intentionally done.
Brown says he didn't know that ATVs are banned at Terrell Park, and again, jury selection starts tomorrow in Jefferson County. Testimony expected to follow on Tuesday. The hearing will be in front of Judge Raquel West. DPS troopers say a man from Houston is dead this weekend after a single vehicle crash this morning in Rose City. It happened at 12:30 Sunday morning along Interstate 10 near mile marker 856. That's less than a mile west of Rose City. Troopers believe the 2010 Dodge Ram was going westbound when the driver left the road, overcorrected, and hit a sign. The wreck caused the Dodge to flip over. The driver, identified as 38-year-old Daniel Chavez Reyes of Houston. Reyes was taken by ambulance to Christus St. Elizabeth Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. DPS says their investigation is still underway. This weekend, the aftermath of the brutal beating of Tyree Nichols. Protests across the United States. The outrage sparked by the release of police body camera video showing 5 officers, now fired from the Memphis Police Department, brutally beating the 29-year-old who would later die from his injuries. This weekend, the Memphis police chief permanently disbanded the Scorpion Unit. Several members of that unit are allegedly involved in Nichols' death. We're turning tonight to ABC's Andrew Dimbert reporting on growing calls for police reform.
More protests across the country calling for justice for Tyree Nichols, following the release of police body camera footage showing police brutally beating the 29-year-old. He died 3 days later. The Memphis Police Department permanently deactivating the Scorpion Unit. 5 of its members were allegedly involved in his assault.
Watch out! I'm a baton. Watch out! Watch out!
The officers were fired and charged with second-degree murder. Short for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods, the unit launched in November 2021 to patrol high-crime hotspots, but it's since come under fire in the wake of Nichols' death. The city's police chief says the decision came after listening to the Nichols family, the community, and uninvolved officers. Attorney Benjamin Crump claims the unit had previous instances of misconduct.
We know that there were other members of the community that had been assaulted by this Scorpion unit.
The Memphis Police Department has not yet responded to ABC's request for comment on the allegations. The NAACP calling for grassroots reform.
We must have a community oversight board here that has teeth in it, that has subpoena power. And then we would have known some of the things that now the community is saying that the Scorpion unit was doing all the time.
In Memphis, Nakia Harrison, a mother of 3 boys, tells ABC's Stephanie Ramos she hopes this time there will be change.
They need to make sure that all of the police officers, not just Memphis, all across the world, need to have the right training, the proper training.
How do you explain this to your kids? So
I can't explain this to my kids. I have to let them see for themselves. I mean, it's no words that a mother could say.
Senator Dick Durbin now pushing for a federal bill reforming policing to be revisited. It previously stalled in the Senate. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.